Let's talk about one of the most critical stages in our interior design process, space planning. At this stage, we'll dive deep into how the property is configured internally, focusing on everything from where the walls are positioned to how the furniture layout will work. Getting this right at these early stages of the project can mean the difference between a property that feels cramped and disjointed versus one that flows naturally and maximizes its full potential. Space planning, it's all about making the most of the available square footage. We analyze the internal structure, identifying the best way to position walls, figure out how each room will be used. Whether it's an HMO conversion or commercial residential project, the way the space is laid out will directly impact not only the tenant experience, but also the overall rental yield. This is where many projects can go wrong, and if the space planning isn't addressed early enough. Without a solid plan, you could end up with poorly positioned walls, awkward room shapes, or worse, space that simply doesn't function well for their intended use. For example, communal areas might be too small, storage might be lacking, or bedrooms could feel cramped. These kind of issues could be significantly reduce the appeal of your property, impact the rents you're able to achieve. At this stage, we'll also start working on the furniture layout. It's not just about fitting pieces into a room, it's about making sure that the furniture complements the flow of the space. We ensure that every inch is used wisely, keeping in mind the tenant's comfort and practical needs. For example, in an HMO, creating functional communal areas with enough seating, smart storage solution, and well-thought room layouts that make a huge difference in how desirable the property is. But that's not all. This is also the point where we start considering future changes or adjustments. Does the space allow for flexibility down the line if the tenant needs shift? Can additional storage or amenities be added later without requiring a major renovation? Addressing these questions early saves time, money, and stress later. The impact of getting this right is huge. Good space planning ensures the property works for your target market, whether it's students, young professionals, or corporates. It also ensures that every room feels functional, comfortable, and maximized for both tenant experience and rental income. On the other hand, poor space planning can result in costly changes later in the project, or worse, a space that just doesn't meet your investment goals. By addressing space planning in the early stages, you avoid these pitfalls and ensure that your property is set up for success. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about the property working as efficient as possible could give you the highest return on your investment. In our next video, we'll be looking at the exciting part, creating everything in 3D. We'll walk you through how we produce realistic renders and 360-degree views of the property so you can see exactly how the space will look and feel before construction even begins. Make sure you stay tuned for that.